But then I thought, okay, maybe I can put a little twist on it so that she's a little weirder.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the actors so good at manipulating their voices that they sound completely different from their memorable characters on TV shows.
I'm not really an American. That was a deliberate mistake that I put in there, which I didn't.
Number 30, Parker Posey, The White Lotus.
You should have taken my lorazepam. I slept like a corpse.
Believe it or not, Victoria Ratliff never actually says "Piper, no" in season 3 of The White Lotus. It became an in-joke on set, however. That in-joke snowballed into a meme that's impossible to say without using Victoria's North Carolina accent.
And Parker's like, ah, Saxon, oh my God, Piper. Like, she just looks at me, and she's like, just sit still, look pretty. And then Mike would come over, give a note to someone else, and then he would just look at me and go, Piper, no. So it was like a whole thing for 7 months of Piper no, so that's where it came from.
Although Parker Posey spent much of her upbringing in Louisiana and Mississippi, her natural Southern accent isn't as exaggerated. The voice came to Posey as she was reading the scripts, deciding that Victoria's accent should be as funny and snobby as the dialogue.
I had all these jokes. It was like, okay, how can I really play it up and really make a character? This is what I love about the South, because I think the South is full of self-made characters.
As over-the-top as Victoria may seem, Posey received a fair deal of praise from actual North Carolinians, telling her the accent is, quote, dead on. While maybe not as quotable, Jason Isaacs also traded in his English accent for a Southern one.
So there were a couple of sounds like the O sound. That's why I was going, Piper, no, and I say, I love you so much. That's a weird English sound, right? And
yes.
the R sound is also, but I love an accent.
Number 29, Matthew McFadden, Succession. Succession viewers are often surprised when they hear Sarah Snook's Australian accent.
I try and stay in it a little bit when I'm not doing the scene, as much as I can at least. But then when we're off, obviously, he's British and I'm Australian, and so I slip into his accent by accident, not even my own. So it's I'm doing American and British, but not even Australian on set.
It's arguably even more jarring when people learn that Matthew McFadden is British, and he's also Mr. Darcy. Where Darcy is reserved, Tom Wamsgans won't hesitate to bombard a subordinate with water bottles while having a hissy fit. This makes it even harder for us to believe that Tom and Darcy's voices came out of the same mouth. McFadden wasn't entirely convinced he could pull off an American accent, saying that he, quote, muddled through most scenes.
I still get shocked when I hear a British accent come out of your mouth.
It's more than okay, it's really flattering, because it was quite hard to do an American accent.
Did you think you had a good one? Because I think you had a great one.
I thought I was just sort of muddling through.
Considering that his transformation won him 2 Primetime Emmys, it's safe to say most of the TV Academy bought his transformation from cultured Englishman to a bumbling American who's simultaneously powerful and weak.
I will not let you do this to me! I will not let go of what is mine!
Number 28, Anna Friel, Pushing Daisies. This actress is best known for playing Chuck on the all-too-short-lived Pushing Daisies. Friel infused the character with an American girl-next-door attitude. Indeed, Chuck and protagonist Ned used to be neighbors.
I'm happy that I know I have a mother who's alive, and not so happy that she can't know I'm alive. Oh, suddenly what was comforting is giving way to sadness.
In reality, Friel and co-star Lee Pace grew up on opposite sides of the pond. Although Friel was born in Rochdale, England, she refused to use her British accent on the Pushing Daisies set. Even when the cameras were not rolling, Friel stayed in character. She only reverted to her natural voice upon receiving a call from her mother, who wasn't a fan of the American accent.
I haven't seen you for about 3.5 years, I think.
Yeah, you're still English, though. Even on the show, you're American.
I'm American on the show, yeah.
Yeah.
I stay in my accent all day long.
The show's English narrator, Jim Dale, assumed Friel was American. It wasn't until hearing her in an interview that Dale realized Friel was a fellow Brit. Number 27, Bella Ramsey, The Last of Us.
I was gonna say that I've been thinking about what happened. Nobody made you or Tess take me. Nobody made you go along with this plan. You needed a truck battery or whatever, and you made a choice. So don't blame me for something that isn't my fault.
When Bella Ramsey was cast in The Last of Us TV series, many were ecstatic, while others were skeptical. The young actor had proven to be a powerhouse talent as Lyanna Mormont on Game of Thrones, but could they convincingly play an American like Ellie? The moment Ramsey shows up on screen, we don't just see Ellie, we hear the character as well.
You guys go out there a lot?
I guess.
When was the last time?
Maybe a year. What's it matter?
But you know where to go. So we're gonna be okay.
Ramsay mastered their American accent by reciting swear words. Fitting, seeing how cussing is like a second language to Ellie, which in turn taught Ramsay how to properly curse. Good thing this is an HBO show. Ramsay got so into character that even after shooting was over, they'd wake up speaking in an American accent. However, Ramsay is, quote, determined to stay British.
Were curse words an important part of the learning the dialect?
Yeah, because the character that I play in this show, The Last of Us, Ellie, she curses every 2 seconds, so like that was definitely important, and like, I mean, there's so many.
Number 26, Colin Frell, the Penguin. The prosthetics have largely dominated the conversation surrounding Colin Farrell's transformation into Oswald Cobb. Even if you removed visuals from the equation, you would never guess the Irish actor is behind Oz's voice.
He was a dirty rat. He played us both for fools. There ain't no changing that. But he's dead. And I'm here now. And I'm offering you the opportunity of a lifetime in this first hit. It's just the beginning. I know a lot more than people think.
While some may debate where Gotham is located, most would agree that a Northeast accent feels appropriate for this gritty portrayal of the Penguin. To find just the right voice, Farrell's dialect coach provided him with thousands of recordings. Frell was drawn to a recording of a 60-something apartment complex manager from the 80s. This particular voice helped him find Oswald, with one word standing out, gefilte fish. Whenever Frell started to lose the voice, he'd say gefilte fish, which got him back into character. Penguins love their seafood.
My hands were the only thing that was me. It was a full body suit. It was 3 hours of makeup in the morning and about 40 minutes to take it off.
So we can see your eyes.
How do you go to the bathroom? Just curious.
I don't eat breakfast or lunch. I suppose it's the most civilized way to answer that.
No, literally.
Number 25, Kelly Riley, Yellowstone.
Next weekend, I'm gonna fly out. Boyfriends, girlfriends, same hotel, same room. Drinks will be on me.
If you met Kelly Riley, you'd be amazed how far removed she is from Beth Dutton. Not only is Riley much friendlier, but she isn't from Montana. She isn't even from the States. Riley hails from Chessington, beginning her acting career in the English theater. To perfect her Montana accent, Riley worked with the same dialect coach as Colin Farrell, Jessica Drake.
I certainly wanted to get that Montana dialect correct, so I worked with Jessica. I'd worked with her on Flight and True Detective and all these other American accents I'd done. But for Beth, it was more about the voice.
Riley previously worked with Drake on projects like Flight. When Riley met her fellow Yellowstone castmates, she addressed them using her American voice. According to co-star Forey J. Smith, Riley used her American accent on set for the first week or so. It came as a complete shock to Smith and many others upon learning that Riley was British.
So I got to sort of hide in her for a minute while I came back to life and I found my own strength and my own happiness again.
Number 24, Melanie Linsky, Yellow Jackets. As Shauna Sadecki, Melanie Linsky plays an American housewife trying to keep up a normal facade while concealing the skeletons in her closet.
Where were you yesterday, Misty?
Excuse me?
Should be a pretty easy answer if the truth isn't pushing Lottie down the stairs.
Linsky's biggest secret is that she's actually from New Zealand. We suppose that's not exactly a secret, but even numerous people in the industry are taken aback when they hear Linsky in her native tongue. In fact, when she auditioned for Up in the Air, Linsky avoided speaking to director Jason Reitman in her New Zealand accent, knowing he wanted an American for the role.
When I first came over here, I didn't have any money or anything, so all I did was just watch movies, like get movies from Blockbuster and just watch.
That's how you learn?
Yes, yeah, and I would just watch movies and talk back to the screen. If I had an audition, I would try to do research.
When Linsky started living in LA, she learned an assortment of American accents by watching movies. While Yellow Jackets has significantly raised Linsky's profile, people still forget that she's a proud Kiwi.
People always forget I have an accent and people are very confused and like, what is she doing? I'm from New Zealand. Okay, that's nice. It's a nice response.
Number 23, Alan Cumming, The Good Wife. If you watch The Traitors, you know that Alan Cumming is Scottish.
In the words of Macbeth, 'twas a rough night.
Yet those who were introduced to him through the Good Wife franchise can't help but expect Eli Gold's voice to emanate from his mouth. Like Rahm Emanuel, who partially inspired the character, Eli is Jewish, from Chicago, and has a political background. Conversely, Cumming is an atheist, from Perthshire, and probably wouldn't work for someone like Peter Florrick. Like Eli, though, Cumming wears many different masks. By the time he joined the Good Wife cast, Cumming was already used to doing accents.
But the one thing I hate is amateurs.
He completely escaped into the character, although some pronunciations proved more challenging than others. On one occasion, Cumming recalled having to redub the word amateur after multiple failed attempts.
I actually said amateur and I had to go and re-voice it. Because sometimes, like in American, when I'm playing Americans, I do the accent, but I get the pronunciation of the word wrong.
I understand that.
Like when I'll say adult instead of adult, or those such things. I say advertisement instead of advertisement. But nobody told me, and I had to go. I was so furious. Nobody told me.
Number 22, Simon Baker, The Mentalist. On this crime drama, Simon Baker plays Patrick Jane, a psychic medium who's truly a fraud. That doesn't mean he hasn't picked up a few skills useful in a police investigation. Just as Jane tricks people into believing he's a psychic, Baker managed to keep up the ruse that he was an American for 7 seasons.
Well, there's another very good reason why we should allow. Right? Keller is apparently still alive and he's mad at me for some reason.
In reality, Baker is Australian. It wasn't quite a ruse, seeing as how Baker closed out episodes saying stay tuned in his natural voice. Still, every time we hear Baker go down under, it's as if he's living a double life. Baker doesn't have trouble maintaining an American accent, except when he gets an Australian director, which can accidentally bring out his real voice.
And you're being a little cheeky with the checkout person.
Really? I was being cheeky?
And I noticed your eyes.
Really?
I did notice your eyes, and I thought, wow, that woman has really sparkling eyes. And I had no idea that you actually had a sitcom. And then I was watching television like a day later. I was like, that's the chick that I saw at Chalet Gourmet.
Number 21, James Marsters, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. James Marsters broke out playing the bleach blonde British vampire Spike. Well, we have 3 bombshells. 1, Marsters was born and raised in California. 2, his natural hair color is closer to brown. 3, he isn't a vampire. Okay, that last one isn't a shocker, but we're still processing that first revelation.
Well, I owe my career to you.
Oh.
Because you went over on Angel. Wow. I was supposed to be on Buffy. I was supposed to be the new Cordelia. I was supposed to be...
I thought that was Emma.
Well, because I didn't work out. I was supposed to be the character that tells Buffy, you're stupid and we're all about to die.
When Marsters auditioned for Spike, he floated the idea of using a Southern dialect, having recently done a play with a Louisiana accent.
Do I know you?
Me? No. No, sir. I'm just an old Palizanders here.
Joss Whedon wanted an English vampire, though, which Marsters was thankfully capable of. Marsters got the London accent down with help from co-star Anthony Stewart Head, a legitimate Brit. After Marsters struggled with one line delivery, Head pulled him aside, insisting that he tutor him.
Spike wants Angel so badly to say, oh, you're cool too. But I don't think he ever, or maybe you did, I don't know.
Number 20, Yael Stone, Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black's Yael Stone brought to life the quirky character of Lorna Morello.
They let you drive? What? Who else is gonna do it? We do everything around here.
The character's thick, high-pitched Boston accent is iconic, but in real life, Yael Stone's voice is quite different. She has an Australian accent and a grounded demeanor, with a more serious tone than the character she portrays.
Heated looking at phone, looking up, looking down, looking up, more perturbed, looking down, and then weird smile.
Hearing her natural voice goes to show how versatile Stone is as an actress, and makes you appreciate the incredible amount of effort and talent that she put into portraying Lorna.
I don't know if there's anyone that talks like this. It's a crazy thing. I'm not sure. I don't know. There may be a little of maybe Adelaide from Guys and Dolls in there.
Number 19, Matthew Reese, The Americans. Matthew Reese is a talented Welsh actor with a portfolio of compelling performances in American television. He gained widespread acclaim for playing Philip Jennings on The Americans.
That's against spies, right?
Exactly.
Ooh. Have to make sure I don't do any spying around here.
Oh, you better not. Especially for those Russians.
Oh yeah, they're the worst, right?
The Soviet spy really had to perfect an American accent to blend into the 1980s Washington, D.C. suburbs. Not only is Reese's accent captivating, but so is his ability to portray the morally complex character.
I don't know why you should trust me. You should hate me. You should probably shoot me. But we're getting in that car.
To the surprise of a lot of fans, his voice is nothing like Philip's. He has a rich and melodic natural Welsh accent, which makes him sound distinctly charming. Philip is often stoic and brooding, but in interviews, Reese appears relaxed and humorous, showcasing just how phenomenal his acting talents are.
Whether you're watching rugby or singing songs or, tearing up at Tom Jones, that is unwavering in me. Which is great for, for what I do, which is, running away and
flights of fancy.
Number 18, Dominic West, The Wire.
You do any accents? English, British, Scottish, something like that?
Crikey. I was looking to get a little hanky-panky, and this one bloke gave me this number to call when I got across the pond.
Work on it, son. Work on it.
After watching The Wire, many people will believe Dominic West, the actor behind Detective Jimmy McNulty, was a Baltimore local. If you've ever heard him speak in real life, you'll know he sounds nothing at all like his character.
Whenever I open my mouth, I'm in a room full of Wire fans, I'm conscious of a sort of rather deflation of oh dear, he's not McNulty.
In reality, he has a charming English accent with a refined tone that majorly contrasts with McNulty's manner of speaking. Beyond The Wire, West has shown versatility in a variety of roles, such as his portrayal of Prince Charles on The Crown. West masterfully embodied Jimmy McNulty, a flawed but captivating protagonist. But his real-life persona is far removed from the gritty world of Baltimore's crime-riddled streets.
With Snap Boogie always stole the money. Why'd you let him play? Got to. This America, man.
Number 17, Jodie Comer, Killing Eve. Fans of the hit series Killing Eve will quickly become familiar with Jodie Comer's character Villanelle. She's a stylish Russian assassin with ruthless efficiency and playful charm.
Aren't you always a different person?
Aren't you? At least I'm good at playing someone else.
Well, not that good, obviously.
Don't speak to me like that, Eve. I like you, but I don't like you that much.
Comer's portrayal is chillingly intense and one of the most memorable characters on television. But in real life, Jodie Comer has a strong yet soothing Liverpool accent.
A lot of people just look at me and think, is it her? But I had one recently that was really strange. Someone asked me for a photograph.
That is a big contrast from Villanelle's Russian brogue and distinctly theatrical tone. Comer's natural Scouse dialect is warm and friendly, unlike the sinister tones of the ruthless killer. She has an unparalleled ability to switch between accents, which is a testament to her talent.
She's just arrived from New York after one too many nights on the wrong side of the bridge. And she has a really, really, really annoying accent.
I like her accent.
Number 16, Daniel Davis, The Nanny. Niles is a witty and sophisticated butler, portrayed by Daniel Davis on the popular 90s sitcom The Nanny. Niles is famous for his dry humor, sharp wit, and loyalty to the Sheffield family.
Mind you, in this fine in the tournament, you'll have to take care of the children. Oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, dear. I think I'm coming down with something. It's getting worse.
His one-liners are some of the best in the show, with impeccable timing. Davis brought this character to life in such a way that fans still adore him more than 20 years later.
Oop, I'm dating myself.
Dating yourself? That's pathetic. Even you can do better than you.
His distinct English accent is also iconic, but he's really from Arkansas. Beyond The Nanny, Davis has had a diverse career, where he effortlessly shifts between characters and rarely speaks in his laid-back and relatable true voice.
I brought a pretty good range, having done a lot of classics, a lot of Shakespeare, and having grown up in Arkansas, I did not have the Southern accent.
Number 15, Katherine OHara, Schitt's Creek. A former wealthy soap star, Moira Rose still has the sensibilities of a one-percenter, despite having lost all her money.
This wine is all full. Give me another glass.
Her usual manner of speaking is noticeably deeper and more prim and proper than Katherine OHara's. This adds to the character's eccentricities, since it gives the impression that her voice is an affectation, even when she's trying to appear warm and friendly.
You've also graciously welcomed us into your heavenly Hamlet.
OHara, on the other hand, comes across as super approachable and down-to-earth.
I'm sorry I wasn't name dropping. I was just telling the truth.
The fact that she can sell this snobby upper-class character so well is just proof of her greatness.
Let's go. I've had enough waking hours for one day.
Number 14, John Barrowman, Doctor Who and Torchwood. If you've only seen American interviews with Barrowman, you might be wondering why he's on this list. His best-known character, Captain Jack Harkness, might be a product of British television, but he sounds decidedly American.
Woke up in bed with both my executioners. Lovely couple. They stayed in touch. Can't say that about most executioners.
And so does Barrowman. most of the time. Although he was born in Scotland, he moved to the States when he was only 8 years old, and his typical accent is an unremarkable Midwestern one.
So, Captain Jack changed my life. It was also a character who changed the face of television.
As a result, however, when he finds himself among his fellow Scots, he reverts to his native Scottish dialect, and the difference is stark.
This is how I speak at home.
Yes.
When I'm with other Scottish people, it just happens. It's like being bilingual.
This is a phenomenon referred to as being bidialectal, which is when someone who grew up around two different accents can switch between them depending on which one they hear, and it's very cool.
I can't tell you what I'm thinking right now.
Number 13, Idris Elba, The Wire.
Your American accent has not always been that good. I refer
My
to...
insides are constricting for you right now.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, you do?
Dominic West isn't the only Brit pretending to be a Baltimorean on The Wire. By now, Idris Elba is famous enough that most people probably know he sounds nothing like his character Stringer Bell in real life. But when The Wire first hit airwaves, Elba wasn't such a big name, and many fans had no idea that his native dialect is quite different from the ruthless Baltimore crime bosses.
We got bosses that wouldn't know police work if it bit him in the ass.
Elba actually grew up in an inner borough of London, and his natural English accent has been said to be almost close to Cockney. Of course, his Baltimore accent is no less commanding.
That's like a 40-degree day. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about a 40-degree day.
Number 12, Jaleel White, Family Matters. Family Matters featured the unforgettable character Steve Urkel, portrayed by the legendary Jaleel White. White became a household name for this role, known for his suspenders, nerdy glasses, and his iconic catchphrase.
Did I do that?
Urkel was a clumsy but lovable character who became a cultural icon. In reality, White sounds completely different from the character who made him famous.
There is no Steve here. I'm Stefan, sweet thing. Stefan Urkel.
Urkel has a high-pitched and exaggerated voice, with quirky mannerisms and hilarious delivery. White's natural voice is much deeper and sounds significantly more mature. This makes you appreciate Urkel even more, as it showcases just how much talent Jaleel White brought to the table.
Yo, sweet thing.
Are you okay? Now sweat, my pet.
Number 11, StephanieBeatriz Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Rosa Diaz is the quintessential no-nonsense, hard-nosed detective. Many of her colleagues are intimidated by her, and she has a somewhat deep, serious voice to fit her personality.
Plans are plans. I'm a badass, not an anarchist.
StephanieBeatriz's natural pitch, on the other hand, is much more high to moderate.
I really loved the character. I wore all black. I wore my black leather jacket. I wore my black boots.
But die-hard fans might have noticed that Rosa's voice evolved over the course of the series. In season 1, it was only slightly deeper than Beatriz's ordinary speaking voice.
Looks like the perp stole a computer, a watch, and a jamon iberico ham valued at, what, $6,000.
In later seasons, her pitch dropped considerably, to the point that by the show's end, Beatriz and her characters sound like completely different people.
Yeah, we know that. We're just surprised that you know that.
Number 10, Rose McIver, Ghosts. Samantha Arendaker is a cheerful young woman, despite being haunted by quirky spirits on the popular comedy series Ghosts.
They're not gonna find anything because I now know there's nothing wrong with me.
Okay, but the doctor said...
That was the living doctor. Of course she thinks I'm delusional. She's not trained for this, but the ghost doctor...
Okay, that's where you start to lose me.
Actress Rose McIver does a masterful job at making Sam warm, relatable, and hilarious, with a light American accent. In fact, McIver is from New Zealand and has a fairly deep tone compared to Sam's upbeat and bubbly personality.
None of these have been shows that people kind of just disengage or, watch and kind of leave afterwards. It's like it seems to kind of build this collective creative thing that happens out of them. And
McIver has refined this accent across a variety of American roles, most notably starring as the undead Liv Moore on iZombie. No matter how dark the subject matter, her versatile voice always brightens things up.
They say you're welcome.
They? There's two of them?
Yep. Are we done here?
Number 9, Lucy Lawless, Xena, Warrior Princess.
So what do you guys think of the show?
I like the one who plays me. She's kind of sexy.
Lucy Lawless is synonymous with Xena, the heroic lead on the beloved fantasy action series Xena Warrior Princess. Her commanding presence captured the hearts of fans globally, making her an icon.
That was me once. And then... the water ripples and churns. That's what I became.
Lawless played the role with remarkable strength, resilience, and a rather arbitrary American accent. In reality, the actress hails from New Zealand and has a much softer and more relaxed voice than the tough, bold warrior princess.
Never done any kung fu, really no sports at all. And I had thought I was going to do Shakespeare. I thought I was going to go to England and study theatre.
Lawless's real-life personality is far removed from the mythological epic battles that Xena is known for, bringing further attention to her stunning range as an actress. Number 8. Pedro Pascal, Game of Thrones. Many people assume that the Chilean-born actor naturally speaks with a Spanish accent. It's not an absurd idea, considering that he sometimes uses one.
I am Javi.
But Pascal actually grew up in California and Texas, and his native accent is pretty standard American.
Yeah, I feel kind of Texan, actually.
Oberyn Martell was the first Dornish character to appear on Game of Thrones, so Pascal played an important role in determining what the people of the fictional Dorne would sound like going forward.
And after I turn sad, I grow angry.
Since he grew up in a family of Spanish speakers, it makes sense that this accent is the one that comes easily to him.
It is a big and beautiful world. Most of us live and die in the same corner where we were born and never get to see any of it. I don't want to be most of us.
Number 7. Maggie Wheeler, Friends. Oh my God. If you know Friends, then you know Janice, Chandler's mostly ex-girlfriend whose surprise reappearances eventually become a running joke.
Oh my God.
Janice's most distinctive feature is her voice. Loud, nasally, and extremely New York. It'd probably be pretty grating to listen to in real life, but her voice, along with her famous catchphrase, made her into one of the most beloved recurring characters on the series.
Okay, I'm gonna need a comforter, but do you have a hypoallergenic one? Because otherwise I get very nasal.
Although Wheeler drew inspiration for Janice from the New Yorker she grew up around, her real voice couldn't be more different.
Really, I heard her. I knew who she was to me.
It's almost jarring to hear it coming out of that familiar face.
That's fine.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Because I know that this isn't the end.
Number 6. Millie Bobby Brown, Stranger Things. 11 from Stranger Things is a young girl with peculiar psychokinetic powers and a hidden past. She's one of the show's central characters and was superbly portrayed by Millie Bobby Brown.
Mike. Yeah? Friends don't lie.
Her performance is powerful, and the character is known for speaking in a soft, childlike American accent. Brown, on the other hand, naturally has a strong, confident, and expressive English dialect. Granted, it has thinned from her growing up in the States.
I hate finger sandwiches. And I'm gonna just say that. Now, cold sandwiches are my dad and I's least favourite thing ever. Now, scones are delicious. Scones. I don't say scones, I actually say scones.
Beyond Stranger Things, Brown has taken on many other roles with a great variety of accents and voices. Brown's true voice and personality are a strong reminder of how dynamic her acting truly is.
I can fight.
Better than any of us.
Number 5. Melissa Rauch, The Big Bang Theory. Bernadette Rostenkowski-Wolowitz's high pitch and usually sweet intonation seem to fit with Rauch's diminutive stature.
Gosh, Amy, I'm sensing a little hostility. Is it maybe because, like Sheldon's work, your sex life is also theoretical?
That's one reason it's always surprising and hilarious when she suddenly belts out a line like Howard's mother.
Does he like the pancakes?
He didn't try them yet!
In fact, the voice and the character have become so intertwined that fans sometimes don't recognize the actress when she's speaking in her natural tone.
Bernadette's voice is very similar to my mother's, except without the Jersey accent.
It turns out that Rauch is a bit of a vocal chameleon. She's done voice work for a number of animated shows and films, and even brought Harley Quinn to life alongside the incomparable Kevin Conroy.
Harley, there are lives at stake.
Oh my God! Yeah, the whole world's gonna plot. I get it.
Number 4. Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders.
Like I said about reprising characters, I'd never done that before, but to have these roles that are extraordinarily written in such great detail and to be able to go back to them season after season, it's been a real gift for me.
Peaky Blinders focuses on the exploits of Thomas Shelby, leader of the Shelby crime family in 1920s Birmingham. Shelby is a cunning and ruthless character with a gritty working-class Brummie accent.
The only difference between you and me, Freddie, is that sometimes my horses stand a chance of winning.
In actuality, Murphy is from Ireland and possesses a soft melodic speaking voice with a soothing and charming affect. This is in stark contrast to Shelby's harsh voice, which has become as iconic as Murphy's performance. Birmingham's is considered one of the most difficult English accents to pull off, but Murphy makes it look as effortless as every other accent he's adopted in his distinguished career.
Would you like to see my mask? I use it in my experiments.
Number 3. Hugh Laurie, House. Laurie became fairly well known on the British comedy scene as part of his two-man act with Stephen Fry in the 80s.
Some of you may be wondering how my colleague came by this bandage upon his head.
It's very simple. A nurse put it on.
But many Americans were first introduced to him as the brilliant yet caustic Dr. Gregory House.
I think your argument is specious. I think your tie is ugly.
He might be humble about his talent, but Laurie pulls off an American accent so flawlessly that lots of fans were shocked to discover he's actually British. House's voice is almost gravelly, while Laurie is a bit more soft-spoken with a polished and proper British dialect.
I just felt like it had to be, it had to be right. Yeah. Because it would get in the way if it wasn't right.
It's almost hard to believe that both voices come from the same man.
You can fake sincerity. You can fake pretty much anything.
Number 2. Andrew Lincoln, The Walking Dead. If you had told us in 2009 that Mark from Love Actually would totally nail the role of a Kentucky lawman in a gory zombie apocalypse show, we probably wouldn't have believed you. And yet that's exactly what happened. To portray Rick Grimes, Lincoln takes on an American accent with a light but noticeable twang, completely unlike his usual posh English speech.
I would say it's a work in progress, but it's a work in progress, apparently.
Rick's voice also gets progressively more gruff over the course of the series, reflecting the trauma and violence he's lived through. Lincoln disappears so completely into the part, it's easy to forget what he really sounds like.
That wasn't weakness. It took everything.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Megan Mullally, Will and Grace. Her name might not have been in the title, but Karen stole this show so many times, maybe it should have been.
He's a little nervous, he's a little nervous. Oh hell, I'm a little nervous.
Thanks to Mullally's over-the-top performance and that impossibly squeaky voice, some of the funniest and most memorable moments come from when she's on screen.
Oh my God. This is the end of me. I don't think I can go on.
Of course, her real voice has a much more reasonable tone. Mullally admits that her risky acting choices haven't always paid off in the past.
Either I would come in with this crazy character, and I'd either not get cast, or I'd get cast and then get fired or almost get fired, or,
Playing Karen with that absurdly high pitch was certainly taking a chance, but in the end, it's one of the things that made the character downright iconic.
Hi, my name is Karen Walker.
Oh my God, that voice is ridiculous.
Which actor impressed you the most with their range? Let us know in the comments.